The airport is almost unsettlingly quiet at this hour. Not the calm kind of quiet, but the kind that weighs on your chest when your entire career is hanging by a thread. Alex sits alone near the gate. Her racket bag leans against the chair. Beside her, headphones hang around her neck, but there is no music. She does not need sound right now. She needs clarity. And somewhere between the departure board and the hum of the overhead lights, she is already gone. Already in Madrid, already on the court, already chasing the version of herself she has not seen in weeks. In a few hours, that plane takes off from Germany. And the moment it lands in Spain, everything changes. Not because Madrid is magical, but because clay tells the truth. Clay does not give you anything for free. It does not reward flashy tennis or lucky bounces. It demands honesty about your movement, your patience, your confidence in yourself when a rally stretches to 20 shots and your lungs are burning. And for Alex, a left-handed, topspin heavy grinder built for exactly these kinds of punishing battles, this surface is either going to rescue her season or expose every weakness she has been carrying. There is no middle ground, no gentle landing. She knows that, and she needs this anyway. Not the way fans say it before a major tournament. She needs it the way only an athlete can. Deep in her chest, silent and relentless. The kind of need that makes you stare out an airplane window at nothing, wondering if you have been getting something wrong all along. Because the last few weeks have been difficult. A series of early exits on the European swing has a way of making your world feel smaller. It makes you forget the victories that came before. And there were victories. Real, meaningful victories. The kind that pushed her into the top 30 earlier this year. A milestone she earned through pure determination. But tennis does not preserve milestones for you. Tennis only remembers what you have done lately. And lately has not been kind. So here she is waiting for a boarding call. And back home, an entire nation is already awake, phones in hand, checking the draw, watching highlights, daring to hope. Because that is the thing about Alex. She has a habit of showing up exactly when people stop expecting her to. Just when the story seems finished, she steps in and changes the ending. But this time, the doubt is not only coming from the outside, it is built into the schedule itself. The Madrid Open is not a tournament where you slowly work your way back into form. It is a WTA 1000 event, the biggest and most unforgiving stage outside of a Grand Slam. Every player in the draw is dangerous. Every opening match feels like a final. And what Alex is chasing here is not a trophy. Not yet. She is chasing momentum, the stubborn, hard-earned, match-by-match kind that cannot be faked and cannot be borrowed. The kind you have to fight for, rally by rally, until your legs finally wake up and remember what they were made for. Madrid also plays tricks on you, and she knows it. The city sits high above sea level, and that altitude changes everything about how the game feels. The ball travels faster and sharper. It does not sit in the strike zone the way it does in Rome or Paris. Your timing is tested before your game is. For most players, that is unsettling. For a left-hander who loads her ground strokes with heavy topspin and loves to push opponents behind the baseline, that thin air could quietly become her greatest advantage. If she can find her range early, if she can stay committed to the rally while her mind is still adjusting, if she can be patient, not the polished, interview-ready kind of patience, but the real kind, the kind that hurts. And then there is her movement. Sliding defensively on clay is something you either learn over years or never truly learn at all. Alex has spent years mastering it, specifically at the Rafa Nadal Academy, grinding on Spanish red clay until sliding became instinct instead of thought. Spain is practically a second home to her now. She knows the light, the rhythm, the feeling of evening practice sessions when the sun sinks low behind the stands. That familiarity does not win matches by itself, but it removes the stress of the unfamiliar. And when you are rebuilding confidence from the ground up, every small comfort matters. Now, let us be honest about the field she is stepping into, because it deserves honesty. Aryna Sabalenka is overpowering opponents as if they are not even there. Coco Gauff defends like a fortress and attacks like a storm. Elena Rybakina has a serve so technically flawless that it almost feels unfair to everyone else in the sport. These are not players you simply hope to beat. These are players you have to outthink, outlast, and outfight for every single point. But tennis carries a beautiful, almost cruel unpredictability that no ranking can fully explain. A player coming off a rough stretch can arrive at a major event and suddenly find a level nobody expected. A draw opens up. A top seed has one bad afternoon. A break point goes your way instead of theirs. And just like that, the story changes. That is exactly what Alex is searching for. Not a fairy tale run. Not yet. Just the first win. Because in an event like this, that first match is everything. It is where the nerves are the loudest and the legs feel the heaviest. It is where every mistake seems to linger twice as long. But get through that, and something fundamental changes. Confidence does not come rushing back all at once. It returns slowly. A clean winner, a hold under pressure, a comeback from down 0 to 30 that suddenly reminds you who you really are. And once that feeling begins, you can sense it. The shoulders loosen, the breathing steadies, the eyes stop looking for reassurance and start searching for opportunities. Nobody expects Alex to win Madrid. That is not the storyline here. The storyline is growth. Long, gradual, sometimes invisible growth that happens match by match, even when the scoreboard says otherwise. Every hour on this stage is a lesson. You learn what Aryna Sabalenka's power actually feels like when it is directed at you. You study the way Coco Gauff creates pressure out of nothing. You experience what it means to hold serve against Elena Rybakina when the crowd goes silent and your heartbeat is the loudest sound in the stadium. Those lessons do not appear immediately, but they build over time, and they become part of who you are. For Alex, still climbing, still proving herself, still standing as living proof that the Philippines belongs on the biggest stages in tennis, those lessons are priceless. And let us not pretend the emotional weight is not real. Back home, people are setting alarms to watch. They are rearranging meetings, gathering around phone screens in jeepneys and living rooms, giving up sleep on a Tuesday because someone they believe in is about to compete. Not because they expect a miracle every week, but because Alex gave them something truly rare. A reason to believe that success does not always move in a straight line. That sometimes the path runs through heartbreak first, through detours and early exits and long flights to cities that do not owe you anything. That is the story people connect with. Not the perfect season, but the human one. The one where you lose, you learn, you get back on the plane, and you try again. So when the boarding call finally echoes through the terminal, Alex stands. She swings her racket bag over one shoulder, rolls her neck once, and takes a breath. Not nervous, not overly confident, just real. And then she walks toward the gate. In a few hours, Madrid. In a few days, the first match. And maybe, just maybe, the tennis world will witness another breakthrough from the Filipina star. Not because it was guaranteed, not because the draw was easy or the timing was perfect, but because she showed up anyway. Even when the road was rough, even when the doubts were loud, even when nobody was certain. That is what makes her truly dangerous. Not the ranking, not the highlight reel, but the willingness to keep moving toward the unknown. One rally at a time.